Welcome in. It's a World Series Monday edition. We've gone from a 4-0 Monday edition to the show here to now a World Series. It's amazing what happens when your baseball team cruises on into the World Series. Both teams pretty effortless, if you ask me, based on what we have. So that's on Friday. We'll have as early of a look ahead as humanly possible. Devan Kaney, Harry Mays, I'm Eitan Shander. Matt Cherico's producing. Hit the thumbs up button if you haven't already. Subscribe here to the Philly Voice channel. We have a bunch of stuff, including PhillyVoice SportsBets. So before we look at the weekend that was, the good, the bad, the what the hell, and that can be extreme good to extreme bad, anything in between, is everybody okay right now? Because the city is insane. It's electric. With all the craziness and the bad stuff you could point to happening, sports may be like one of the few things left that we have collectively, and it is insane right now that this Phillies team, the run that they're on into the World Series, to now take on the ultimate cheating Goliath. Last time a Philadelphia team took on a cheating Goliath, they knocked off Tom Brady in the Super Bowl.
Saw it happen. And you know what? This Phillies team does give me those 2017 Eagles Super Bowl team vibes, because they are underdogs coming into this. People counted them out. But you asked if we're okay, Eitan. I was at the game yesterday.
Nice.
Standing outside. And look, I'm not complaining because it was magical. In the freezing cold rain, I woke up this morning, and when I first tried to speak, just nothing came out. So I got my voice back, luckily, in time for this show. But no, definitely still recovering over here.
Well, enjoy it while it lasts, because I saw a tweet that I copied today that says, over the past 100 years, the surest sign of an oncoming financial crisis has been when a Philadelphia-based baseball team won the World Series. It goes back to 1929 with the Philadelphia A's, 1980, 2008, and now 2022.
Okay. First off, that's terrible news on a Monday in which the Philadelphia Phillies clinch a World Series berth. I thought you were going to hit me with some Ken Rosenthal, Jason Stark stat that basically pointed to like a 99.9% chance the Houston Astros are going to win this thing. So I do feel like impending economic doom I can handle, because all of us across the globe, I guess, are going to go through it. But I mean, I don't know. What would you trade? Would you trade, waiting 10 hours online for a loaf of bread to see the Phillies win the World Series?
I'd go without eating bread.
Okay.
And I think I'd just eliminate bread from the diet.
Maybe you'd have to substitute other stuff.
I appreciate that you modernize that, though. Waiting 10 hours online for a loaf of bread.
Right. Online, yes. Yeah,
but I
not
took Phillies
physically
plus
online.
160. Phillies plus 160, yes.
Okay.
I bet them each and every time in the series.
Well, each and every time in this past, I mean, they were a live betting dream here, especially if you looked at it in that first inning. So however you approach this past series, game one, though, they are a little bit of a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the anticipation is that Wheeler's going to be out there. I'll say this honestly, and I don't, know if it's going to make a ton of difference, but who you're going up against game one. It's Justin Verlander. I have him at plus 140, by the way, game one.
Okay.
That's BetMGM. So if you can find a better number, by all means. Do you think there's any shot Aaron Nola goes game one to ensure that you're going to win one of those two games? Because you have Wheeler game two, and there is nobody on that staff, including who they're sending, right? Valdez, right? That would counter Zach Wheeler.
Harry, I don't know if you're...
I don't know. I mean, I never really thought about it. To me, I'm just thinking you reset the whole thing and start Wheeler Nola on games 1 and 2 on the road to try to ensure that you do get one of them.
Yeah, but Wheeler goes up... Sorry, real quick, Devin. I just want to explain that. What you're doing by moving Wheeler to game two is ensuring that you have this significantly better matchup when Wheeler is on the mound, as opposed to putting Wheeler versus Verlander in a heavyweight bout.
Yeah, okay, I get that. Yeah, that does make sense now that you put it that way.
Devin, I'm sorry. I could tell, knowing Harry for as long as I could tell he didn't understand what I was saying, and that's probably how I communicated.
Phillies plus 145 in game one on DraftKings.
There you go.
So there you go.
Well, and look, Aaron Nola is not going to be facing off against his brother or his family, watching both of them, whatever played into that. So, I hope that he'll play better than he did against San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, look, for me, I think it would just be putting him out there taking that risk. Verlander, if you're going to get to Verlander, there's a good chance that Aaron Nola doesn't get rocked. So it's still, you have to get to Verlander.
Got to do it early.
Exactly.
Very, very early.
You could put Ranger Suarez on the mound and it won't
Right.
matter. Like, you got to get to Verlander in the first inning, really,
Yep.
at that point. So, just
And
a
that
thought
Valdez
there.
is tough too, man.
He is.
I was watching him during I forget what the series before the Yankees, and man, he's really good.
Well, they haven't lost a game yet.
Yeah, I know.
Can
How about those
can I
Yankees?
tell you guys about? I think I mentioned this last week when it comes to betting the Phillies. I think in every single one of their playoff games in both the Braves series and Padres series, I never did a side because I'm superstitious, but I did pick at least one player, sometimes two, to hit a home run, and just would drop like $5-10 on it. Not
Nice.
a lot at all, but just like
Nice.
to spice things up every single time it hit.
Wow.
I don't know. So I need to keep it up when they play the Astros.
Yeah.
Like, I had Bryce Harper yesterday. I had Schwarber Friday. I had two, I think, Saturday nights when everyone was hitting. So got to keep up the good juju there.
Yeah, absolutely. Let us know, will you, ahead of time? Shit. Pass
That's
it
like-
So
on.
that's my thing. I can't tell anyone. Until after it happens, because the few times that I have told people, then I get worried that it's going to get messed up.
You're going to mush yourself, you feel?
Yeah.
All right, so let's look at the weekend that was. NFL, college, good, bad, ugly, or beautiful, the extreme that was. I'll start. For me, it was kind of brief here. The worst, I think, of it was just loading up player props. I think I got crushed on it. And the Atlanta game, because I had a 6-leg teaser that would have hit, including New England tonight, who was basically a pick 'em. So I'm assuming that New England wins the game tonight.
Yeah.
And I had Atlanta teased up to 14 in that game, and I thought that would be enough. So that was utterly deflating. Other than that, Pittsburgh, Washington, Dallas 2 times over, right? The side and the total. So pretty good weekend. College, and Harry, you can take it away here, but college, it wasn't anything insane. There was a nice stretch for live plays like Clemson. I was able to clean up that mess of a 13.5 play by getting them live. Air Force. Oh, I'll tell you, Air Force, I tried to get in live at 9.5 plus 9.5 at BetMGM. I could not get in. So I hit the button again because it didn't show me it was loading, and I got stuck with them 2 times over. So that, and then now, and if you're out there, Bloomfield, Shelton, the guys following on the Discord, if you're out there, you can verify we're now 3-1, Maze, in the Ivy League so far, the last 3 weeks. So
Were you on Penn this weekend?
I was on Penn, minus 4.5, cooking. And did you see that? Did anybody see the ending of that game?
No, I didn't watch any football this weekend.
You didn't
Me
watch
neither.
Penn
Me
football?
neither.
No.
Who
no,
can think
I was
about
out-
football in a time like this?
Yeah, I was outside all day, both days.
Outside?
And then I watched the Phillies yesterday. I watched the Phillies Saturday night. That's it. That's all I got time for. I was
What?
playing golf.
I have 3 TV. I'm shocked. Like, you could have a TV and a computer, a TV and a phone. You can watch multiple things outside.
I was
What are you,
outside.
13 years old?
Yes, I
Stay
am.
inside and watch television. My
Jesus.
God. Unbelievable. All right. Well, forget what you saw, because both of you didn't watch anything but the baseball games. That's clear and evident here. Anything go really well or really shitty from a betting standpoint? How about that?
Well, the UCLA game was really shitty
Yeah,
from a betting
thank you.
standpoint.
Thank
The onside kick by Oregon not only caught me by surprise, but it caught everybody on UCLA by surprise. They go back-to-back touchdowns in that second quarter. I think they put 28 on the board in the quarter, did Oregon, and UCLA never recovered. So that was a loser. The over in the Texas game, boy, that game must have been awful, because if you're Texas and you're sitting there saying, we're 6.5 point favorites on the road, we end up losing the game outright, but the officials called 14 penalties on us for over 100 yards and 0 penalties against Oklahoma State. How is that possible in a college football game where a 19, 20-year-old kid doesn't make a mistake?
Right.
That's impossible. There should be an investigation into that officiating crew, but the game went over, so I was happy with it.
Oh, my
Yeah, so I did pay attention to. I didn't watch games yesterday because I was at the Phillies game, but I do co-host a NFL betting show every Sunday morning, so I did have to pay attention a bit. And there were quite a few upsets, guys. Like, I just don't think I'm ever going to bet on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers again, which is something that I never thought I'd say. Like, I don't know what's going on there. That one, Commanders, like Aaron, like it seems like the great quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady,
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Yeah. Like they're not sure things anymore.
The end of the era is upon us as far as those guys are concerned. I was thinking that same thing this morning.
Yeah.
Like, wow, man, it just seems to all come crumbling down. And I don't see it going back. This Green Bay team is not very good. There's a lot of dissension, I think, in the ranks. Brady's personal life is obviously bleeding over into his football. And they're not going to hit their win total, which I'm happy about because I went under that back in August.
What was that number again?
I think it was 11.5.
11.5,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
You know, it's interesting, too.
Too many points in the Commanders game, though. Sorry to cut you off, Ethan.
No, I think you and I were both on that under there. I jumped Saturday on the Discord, jumped on the Commanders at 4.5. Was looking at Ron Rivera made a couple of key changes in his secondary and benched 2 starters like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it's made the world of difference. And yeah, I mean, Cherico's right. People use Tampa money line minus 760. That's a great anchor. They were a good, decent teaser piece. I jumped in minus 122. They were, I think it was like 10-3 or whatever it was when early on thinking, yeah, they got this. Jumped in live thinking just win the game at this point. And it's awful. I think people are just tired down there of Tom Brady's shit. Because think about this though, right? Like New England, you're never going to say anything about Brady in New England, no matter how upset you are, because Belichick's there, and like you're never going to win a public battle against Tom Brady in New England. But Tampa Bay, granted, he's won a Super Bowl, and I get all that, but he's not rooted right there. So all of a sudden, not showing up.
Yeah, but neither is anybody else.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So people don't feel allegiance, like they can just fire off. And it's like, all right, if I'm out of here, I'm out. Mike Evans gets traded. Yeah. But man, that was atrocious. It wasn't a great week as far as like aesthetically pleasing.
No,
it was a terrible week.
If you were on dogs, I mean, again, Pittsburgh last night, right? Washington, if you were on dogs, even Dallas made it interesting at one point, but
let's just go ahead and bet the Eagles minus 10.5 and just
it's at 11 in certain places.
That's
now.
Okay. They're going to probably pick it off 3 or 4 times. All that kid does is turn the ball over.
Yeah,
it's going to be Pickett, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
I would think
10.5 at PointsBet and FanDuel. FanDuel still 10.5. That was at 10 immediately as I was trying to bet it last night at 10. It was off the board, so you can get a break if you do like Pittsburgh at 11. Look, I mean, it's a perfect opportunity, right, for the Eagles to come out. 10.5 at home is a busy number, though.
Yeah, I mean, and the spreads this week, looking at the messy slate of games, just not Eitan. You kind of worded perfectly, not aesthetically pleasing games. I think we predicted that. The spreads were kind of wild though. Like I think the Panthers Bucks game, it was like 13 at one point yesterday morning. The Jets Broncos, like I think I just had the under on that game and that hit, the under hit. But like that, like the Jets were underdogs at one point by 1 point, like, and then it flipped. Like the spreads were kind of all over the place this week.
Yeah, the Wilson injury really flipped that because it was building. I think even Saturday, right? Or maybe Friday on the show, the Jets were tilting, I think, to still getting a point, but like minus 105 or so, something like that on the money line. And yeah, once the Wilson thing came out, it was official. All right, here you go. The Eagles at minus 11 and the Phillies to win game 1 is plus 358.
Wow. But that's against Verlander.
I feel like that should be higher, actually. Just for the Phillies aspect of it. And because the spread is so big for the Eagles.
Yeah, but you don't have to cover, do you?
In what sense?
Is it a money line thing on the Eagles, or is it
no? It's
minus
covering
11?
It's covering the spread,
okay.
Right?
Wow,
it's covering.
Yeah, I would think that would give you a little bit more value too.
Yeah.
Well, you have the spread though is the NFL play, right? So that's minus 110. So if you look at this minus 110, and then the other play would be now again. This could be as easy as it's 2 Philly teams and correlated in that sense, but. If you look at the 358.18. That's about right. No, actually, putting that in a parlay calculator, that's
pretty good.
fair. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what those odds. That's what those odds calculate to. It's not like they've been correlated and lowered in some sense, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Are we watching this game tonight? I know I have to watch the first half.
I'm in. Yeah. All
You're
right. So
in?
that's a good correlation here. What I'll clean up the mess, not your mess, but the game's mess. So why don't you start, Devin? What are you on tonight? Harry, you go, and then we'll get out of here with some plays outside of this god awful football game.
So yeah, I will watch tonight because I didn't get a chance to watch too much football this weekend. I have the Patriots winning and covering the spread in this one. Last I checked, the spread was 4.5. I don't know if it's changed at all.
First half.
Yeah, it's about
no,
8.
4.5.
Yeah.
Is that wrong? Am I wrong about that?
It's 8 now.
Yeah, it's 8.
It's
It was
8?
7. Yeah. Well, the first half is 4.5. First half was 4, and then it moved to 4.5.
Okay, maybe that's where I'm going to get that number from.
So
it's 8, and the over/under's 40. I'm going under.
Right.
Yes, I have under.
That's
and
actually 9 at BetMGM. If
it is,
if you want the Bears. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I took under 40.
Hold on.
We talked about this last week, and then Cairo Santos over 1.5 field goals is plus 158. Ton.
Yeah, I was looking at that. My play here is actually each team 1+ field goal in the first half at plus 130 because both of these teams are scoring their field goals in the first half.
Nick Folk.
Yeah, Folk too. Didn't Santos come off a blank though last game?
Well, they got beat 12-7 by the Commanders. Yeah.
So that's my concern is that he's got 2 now I looked at that this morning, Harry. He's got 2 blanks though this year. So that's the only look, I don't dislike
the Bears shoot a lot of blanks.
They do. They do. They're loaded with blanks. You're absolutely right. But I still think that so what I've done is I've said if Folk and Santos are going to get one, it's going to be in the first half. And if Santos is going to get one. So theoretically, I am on your play as well, if you look at it that way. So we're both technically straddling a similar play.
Okay. The Bears are 8-2 in their last 10 to the under in October. And favorites in this series in the last 8 meetings, favorites are 7-1. So that points to the Patriots. So
you're on the Patriots too.
Well, I would be if you made me bet it. I like to jump in on these live during these Monday night games.
Sure.
So that's what I did twice last week, and hit both of them. But it's a god awful game. I'll watch the first half because I'm obligated to.
So here's something to think about. Justin Fields 0-5. These are straight up numbers. Forget the spread. 0-5 straight up at night. 1-7 straight up on the road. He's also 0-7. Right, when you look at the one win he's had, mind you, was last year against the Raiders in Vegas. That was right after Gruden's emails came out. So that was the one win that he's had on the road. At night on the road, not good in general, but worse there. TD to pick ratio is 5-5 with 2 fumbles. 46% of his net passes he's completing this year. Wow. Meaning, the New England Patriots are going to do everything they can to take away both of those running backs. Yep. But you can still run on New England. But I think the game plan is going to be to take away the running backs, meaning a running quarterback can run. So I'll go over 41, 42, depending on where you can find it, 41, 42.5 rushing yards for Justin Fields. I think he's going to be out there dropping back enough and scrambling enough that he can get that. The field goal play, Harry, that you mentioned. Also, under the game, 39.5. That's what I got in. It's now 40.5. That's fine there.
Yeah.
And the last one. All right. So I'll leave you with this one. New England, I have their special teams and defense scoring at any time touchdown at plus 400.
I like that.
Fields is going to turn the football over, right?
Yep. And Belichick will confuse the you-know-what out of him, too.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then I'll leave you with a lotto ticket before we run around and hit everything last second. Your lotto ticket is St. Brown on the Bears.
Oh,
2+ touchdowns at plus 8,000.
wow, that's a moonshot.
It is a moonshot. You're right. Shout out to the moonshot there.
I mean, just Chicago getting 2+ touchdowns is a moonshot.
So think about that. You know, Belichick's taking Mooney away. He's taking Montgomery in the passing game away. And then here you got a guy, right? Or it's 38-14, and some dude that half the country's never heard of scores 2 touchdowns on the Bears. That's all I'm saying. Like I could see both. So there you have it.
All right. Any look aheads?
Yeah, I'll let you go, and then I'll clean. I'll get us out of here on the way out. So
2 totals. I've been doing this Chicago thing. I'm on it tonight, but next week against Dallas, under 43. I don't know that they score more than 6 points against Dallas. And Denver, Jacksonville, under 39 looks pretty good to me. I don't care who's quarterbacking for Denver.
Like it. Devin?
I don't have any look aheads. I was just trying to find World Series winner odds for the Phillies, who are clearly underdogs. Phillies plus 160 to win the World Series. I'll take it. Homer.
All right. Not bad. By all means, right? Harry, what total was that? The Jags total?
Jags and Denver under 39.
Okay.
Yeah. It's at Jacksonville.
It is at Jacksonville. I got in Jets even money. I'm right back with Washington at +4, Cincinnati -3. Those are the 3 that I looked at. And he hit on Saturday, and damn it, I'm going to bet him again tonight. But I don't care if the Philadelphia 76ers lose every single basketball game. At some point, they're going to have to figure out, and I think they started to on Saturday, that they're really good when Maxi's in a position to knock down threes, not take threes. So he's still at plus money. I got him earlier today at plus money, plus 124 to knock down 3. That Evan Fournier 4+ on the Knicks at plus 230. There you have it.
Can we get one of your offshore accounts to give us odds on Doc Rivers being fired?
Oh, I have that.
Oh, do you actually? I'm very curious.
Yeah. Okay, so
you got to bet it then.
Well, is there like before a certain date, or like is there a deadline for it, or just like him being fired in general this season?
No, there isn't a. Let me just filibuster as I pull this up. There isn't a deadline in the sense of it has to happen at a certain time, but I think what it is just the first person in general.
First coach fired. Okay.
Right, first coach fired in general. So we're going to have to do that on Wednesday, I think.
All right.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I can't imagine that Doc isn't heating up at least. Like Doc probably has pretty good value right now, right? Because he's probably not right there at the top, but he's probably in the midfield. We'll hit that Wednesday. All right. Speaking of which, for Devin, for Harry, for Matt producing, we'll see you Wednesday. Thanks again.